We got that chopped up with a video, man. Make sure y'all get a video some love, man, because you know what I'm saying. Y'all know I be going based off, you know what I'm saying, how many views I get on videos and shit. If the video don't get no love, y'all won't catch me doing that person video for a minute. I ain't gonna lie. So make sure y'all give the video a thumbs up, comment, and no matter if it's an emoji, comment. You feel me? Let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Who's a co-founder, a co-partner of the small construction company in this Chicago area. So Saturday was when you could rest.
Oh, the rewind of this.
Really, like,
I heard out of the whole minute.
Cup of coffee, sitting for a few bucks. He would be out early that morning to engage folks in his passion, which was diesel trucks. Not about them. There's a bear shit in the woods. This was Ari's time to himself. This was Ari's time. When you'd go out into the small garage they had in their backyard of their upscale Chicago neighborhood.
Chicago, nigga.
Ari was well known in his own local community of the Chicago neighborhood, but even better known in the diesel community. Hey, listen, gasoline? Get out of here. Get out. We don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about Big D. Diesel time. He was a kind, likable, pretty charming guy. Always happy to help others in the community, be it local.
No pause on that. Crazy.
Or the diesel one. If you're having problems with your truck, he'd help you fix it, give you advice. They would do these meetups where they would race and do pulling competitions and just hey, listen, talk diesel. So that morning, he grabbed his cup of coffee and headed out the door into their garage to work on his white truck. Denise and Ari had been married about 14 years by this stage. They didn't have any children together. By most accounts, they seemed fairly happy together, though they sort of lived different lives.
14 years? What the fuck y'all together for?
Ari worked worked in construction as a general contractor in the area, while Denise, she was an adjunct professor at a nearby university. She herself rose that same morning about an hour or two after Ari had already headed out the door to go tinker away in his car. She'd been out the night before in Olive Garden with her friends, and she'd gotten back kind of late. So she rose bleary-eyed and not bushy-tailed, got out of bed, walked down the stairs and into the kitchen to get herself a cup of joes. She wasn't really concerned that Ari wasn't around. She assumed rightly that, listen, he's either gone out for a drive. He was the kind of guy who'd always be doing something, so if he's not here, he's either in the garage out back or he's off driving somewhere. However, as she walked over to their drip coffee maker, what did concern her was the thick black smoke that seemed to be coming out of their garage. It wasn't unusual to see smoke coming out of the garage, as Ari would always be there tinkering away. He was a bit of an engineer. But this seemed to be quite a lot of it. This looked like there was a fire. First off, Denise, thinking, well, Ari can't be there. She tried to call him on his cell phone, but she got no answer. She then walked out to the front of her house, and she couldn't see his white truck out there, so she assumed he must have gone off for a drive. But then, seeing the smoke only getting thicker and thicker, she called 911.
911, I think my garage is on fire. I just heard some noise, and I'll open the door, and then I'll blast smoke. And there's smoke coming from your garage? Should I go outside, or what do I do? Outside, we're safe, okay?
This was at 8:24 a.m., and the firefighters arrived within minutes of the call. She was waiting out front by the time the firefighters arrived, and she was telling them now, I'm very worried that Ari is not answering his phone. I'm starting to wonder, I'm worried that he's in there. She began to think, well, maybe the reason his truck is out front is he had been working on it. The firefighters, they pushed past her, and they went into the garage, and fairly quickly, they were able to put out the fire. It was indeed his truck on fire in their garage. It had been white. Now it was, well, any colour had been burned away. But just as the smoke and shite cleared, they saw something tragic. They saw two legs sticking out from underneath his white truck. Now the upper half of the poor person who had been underneath this truck was burnt to a absolute crisp. But I mean, it was Ari. The face was gone, but he was wearing his clothes, and they found a wallet inside, and it was Ari Squire's identification. Ari, it appeared, had died doing what he loved, working on his truck till his dying moment. An investigation would, of course, begin to try and determine what exactly had happened, but it appears to have been a freak accident. Ari had been working on the undercarriage while the truck had been lifted up on a 3-ton hydraulic jack, but in some sort of freak accident, the truck had slipped off the jack and crushed Ari underneath. Then, as it fell, it smashed a light bulb that had been hanging from the open hood.
Final destination shit. The reason I never worked on cars, because I'm not getting on no car. That's one thing I'm not doing. I ain't not getting on no car, bro. I pay a motherfucker to do it for I do it.
And you know the rest.
Okay.
News of Ari's death. Well, it's right quickly. He's an absolute treasure. As I said, he was well known in the local community as a general contractor. Even better known in the diesel community, where he was a big dog in that. His death was extremely sad. Denise was devastated. It's what the police might think she would have been, but she wasn't. When they told her, we are so sorry. Your beloved husband.
What the fuck?
He's burned to a crisp. Sorry about that. She was kind of just like, shit sucks. Everybody reacts differently to death. Some people make a joke. Some people are simply in shock. Some people laugh as soon as they hear bad news. So the police kind of put it down to that, as in, who knows how you will react, and that's kind of fine. But that usually wears off. This was going to wear those jeans all day, let me tell you. Hours and then days would pass, and she was kind of just the same. A couple of days later, they had a big old memorial for Ari Squire at a local Italian restaurant. Over 100 people attended. That's how well liked he was. And Denise was kind of just looking at her watch the whole time as if her favorite TV show was on and she was missing it. Denise and Ari's marriage seemed cold. It was like they were more like business partners than a loving husband and wife. The police would even note when they were walking into the Squire home, there was not a single picture of Ari and Denise together. Zero. There was only one picture of their wedding day, and it was just of Ari by himself wearing his tuxedo. Ari was also deeply in debt at the time of his death. Before he co-owned this construction contractor company, he had been the owner of a home health care company, which was being accused of $2 million in Medicare fraud. He was currently on trial for that, and that had absolutely drained the Squires, him and Denise's bank account. They had paid over $200,000 during the course of the trial, and it seemed like they were going to settle in the end, which would mean Ari and Denise had to pay another $200,000. Due to this, Ari was on house arrest. He could only leave the home for work and just other essentials. His current company, the construction contractor company, it was an abject failure. They were getting shite work, and they were even getting shiter pay. And Ari was also deeply in debt because he had bought a condo complex down in Florida that just seemed to be a money sink. Money was going in, but nothing was coming out. According to Denise, it was all down to Ari. He was a black hole in their bank account. So if their marriage was a business arrangement more than a loving marriage, they were more like business partners. That's the worst kind of business partner you can have. That's a very bad business arrangement, and anybody would probably tell you, cut your losses. So I hear you're back in Big Dog. The police said to Denise, does Ari happen to have a life insurance policy by any chance? Denise says, couldn't tell you. The police went to the insurance company, and they could tell them. $5 million, and Denise Squire was listed as the sole beneficiary. So if Ari died, this would be very good for Denise. Not only would a lot of her money problems go away due to being married to a money problem, she would also get $5 million. And although the immediate investigation showed this to be what appeared on the surface to be just a freak accident, truck slips, crushes him, and then a fire starts. A deeper look at it, more than a cursory glance, would show a couple of things weird here. See, Ari was a very skilled mechanic, but he was also very safety conscious. When news of his death reached the auto community, people were shocked. Ari? Him? He died in an accident? No way. I mean, it can happen to anybody, especially a freak accident. But usually those who don't take care of shit are the ones to get hit. So people were shocked. Ari would be the one who would die. So the police were learning strange things about the scene. His marriage to Denise, their financial problems, and they're thinking, oh boy, here we go. If the truck did slip, you'd expect scratches and damages, which there weren't there. He wasn't using the jack stabilizers with the hydraulic jack, so it would have been very steady regardless. The truck slipped and fell and smashed the light, which started a fire. That would make sense. Except there was no power to the garage. The police found that the circuit breaker was off at the time. He would usually turn power off to the garage when he wasn't in there for safety reasons with all the equipment in there. So how would the light have been on to start a fire in the first place? The front wheels of the truck had been removed when it seemed like what he had been in there working on was just changing the oil filter. And Ari's body had cardboard on top of it, which was odd. Usually it might be under against the concrete or whatever. And his body was doused in some kind of fuel. They couldn't exactly tell what it was, but that seems to ignite his body. And it seemed like a lot more than maybe something was spilled out of his truck and onto him. He was doused in it, all the way down to his socks. It seemed pretty clear to the police that this was a staged scene, and likely Ari was dead before his body was placed there and he was set on fire. Maybe we got a murder. Maybe more than one, because investigators would soon learn of another incident, in a neighboring part of the city, which at the time seemed unconnected, but would quickly link back to Ari Squire's death. See, the morning of Ari's death, that same Saturday, a woman was concerned about her son. She was worried he could be missing.
Oh, bro.
20-year-old Justin Newman should have been back by now. This was at 3 p.m. that Saturday. He had to be back by 3 p.m. because Justin would always drive his mom, Donna, to work. She worked at a nearby Target and she couldn't drive herself. Justin was, every Saturday, he would drive her to work. He was so, he was always there. His brother, Justin wouldn't even let his brother drive their mom to work. That's how Justin was there. So his mom was kind of worried that he wasn't appearing, wasn't answering his phone. Justin, a young fella, fun-loving, and he worked at a nearby Home Depot. He was a very hard worker because he wanted money and lots of it. He was a dreamer. Now, that Saturday morning, it was his first day on the job at a side gig he had picked up at a general contractor's. He had started at about 7 a.m., but he said, I'll be sure to be back by 3 p.m. so I can take you into work. Sure, first day starting on a new job, sometimes you might have to stay late as you're learning the ropes. But as I said, Justin said he would be back by now, no matter what. So where was it? All they knew is that a customer at Justin's place of work, the Home Depot, had offered Justin some car.
Not gonna lie, if I tell somebody I'm gonna be somewhere, you feel me, especially my mom, I'm definitely gonna be there, my guy. No cap. Like, everybody knows me. Like, if I tell you I'm gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna be somewhere. So if I don't come, something up.
Time work, kind of few jobs here, maybe at the weekends and your days off from your regular work, helping me out as I construction stuff. Just a chance to get a little bit more money. Justin, of course, jumped at it. The guy who was offering him a little bit of extra work, that guy's name was Ari Squire. That Saturday, they were due to go work at a job in Missouri. Donna ring Home Depot. She didn't have Ari's number, and she wanted to speak to Justin's boss. Maybe he knew Ari, because Ari was a very frequent customer to this Home Depot contractor. He needed supplies. He was in there like 4 to 5 times a week. So Donna is talking to Justin's boss, and guess what he says to Donna? You won't believe it. Ari was killed in a fire this morning. Shit me fan. The next day, they received a text from Justin saying, gone to Missouri, call you next week, which sounded weird coming from Justin, and it was then they reported him missing. Now, was he involved in the fire? Was he in trouble? Was he in Missouri? Had he been in cahoots with somebody who would benefit, like Denise, and then murdered Ari, and then gone on the run? In the meantime, Denise was trying to have Ari's body cremated ASAP, but the medical examiner refused to release Ari's body.
Hell no.
Because he couldn't be sure that was actually Ari Squire. The body wore Ari's clothing, right down to the socks. It had Ari's wallet in the pocket with his identification, but the dental records weren't coming up at all. So then the examiner noted in Ari Squire's medical history that he had broken his arm like a good few years before all this. So he was like, well, a broken arm will still show up. Even if it's years old and it's properly healed, you'll still see it. So he did an x-ray of Ari's arm. That had never been broken in his life. The police had a link between a dead, possibly Ari, and a missing. Justin was supposed to show up at his first day at his new job at Ari's home, and then suddenly Ari is dead. But is that Ari? And where is either of them? So the cops went to the Home Depot where Justin worked, and Ari was a frequent customer. Did anyone else note their interactions? Anything weird? Well, there they met another customer who also had a weird story about Ari. His name was Sandy, and he was a carpenter, and he had a story quite similar to Justin's. He would be in there all the time, and he kind of sort of knew Ari, had spoken to him a good few times, and Ari had offered Sandy, the Sandy character, an incredible, mind-blowing salary if Sandy would quit and come work for Ari. Sandy says, well, shucks, how about a hell yeah? Sandy then was given an application form by Ari Squire to fill out, for this job. Usually, job application form, you got your work history, your references, your education, your whatever.
The name.
This application was a little bit different. Eye color, shoe size, waist size, piercings, tattoos, how many, where are they? It was more for a model.
Bitch, I don't give a fuck how bad a job, how good a job paying. You ask me what size shoes. When I done had factory job that asked me what size shoes I wear because they buy the boots and shit like that. So, but eye color and all that mumbo jumbo shit, skin, man, hell no. I'm think you trying to sex traffic.
Job.
And that was going out like Willy Wonka.
The medical examiner, who was still not releasing Ari Squire's body, would say, no, this is not the body of a almost 40-year-old man. Ari Squire was 39. This is like the body of a 20-year-old. So as you can see, things are starting to fall into place now. Yeah. And then Ari's partner at his construction firm would tell the police, a couple of years ago, Ari said something a real knee slapper. He said something pretty funny. He said, you know what, one day I would love to have a dead body that I could just, plant there, burn it up, and then I would take that person's identity and it would be a fresh start. Start anew. New start for the Squire.
This nigga think he Dexter.
Justin said they were due to work in Missouri, so the police began looking in St. Louis, and by chance, a patrolman saw a crooked plate on a car. Running the registration, it linked back to Justin Newman. It was parked outside a hotel, and going in, they were told, Justin Newman, he's staying in room 133. Police got the team together, they got all their firearms, and they readied up right outside room 133 in tactical positions. They knocked on the door, and they announced themselves, and they said, Justin Newman, are you in there? They got no answer. They then got the master key for this room and they opened it. The door was still on the chain. They tried to peek in, shouting for Justin Newman to come out, when all of a sudden they heard a single gunshot. They all ducked for cover, but eventually making their way into that room, they saw a body lying on the bed.
Damn.
It was the body of Ari Squire with a single gunshot wound to the head. Ari Squire had been hiding in this hotel room the entire time, and now his body was right there. He was dead for a second time. Looking at his body as it lay on the bed in this hotel room, Ari Squire's usually brown eyes were blue. He'd been wearing contact lenses to look like Justin Newman. Denise and Ari had been emailing the entire time. They were both in on it, trying to get away from the burden of their bills. They were just waiting for the life insurance check, and together they would ride off into the sunset. This had been something Ari had been planning for a while. First with Sandy, who looked like, as you can see, remarkably like Ari, then with Justin. Ari even got the contact lenses, the Just for Men, everything, to try and look 15 years younger. Can't imagine it worked. Justin was a lot younger than Ari, but he was closer to Ari in size. So that morning, Ari lured Justin over.
That's lame.
Knocked him out with chloroform, put him under his white truck, set him on fire. Then he was going to assume Justin's identity. He put in contact lenses so his eyes would be blue like Justin's, and he took off in Justin's car going to St. Louis. Denise would later say, she thought the emails that Ari was sending her while he was on the run, she thought, he's dead though. She thought these were like previously scheduled emails before he died. So that's why he was asking for things after
that bitch so cap.
Like, how's my funeral? And did you burn my body yet? It was a very sad end for Justin Newman, who was trying to make a little bit of extra money, working an extra job, and he was so excited to start. Sandy, the carpenter, he had nearly taken Justin's place, as Ari had offered him the job before he offered it to Justin Newman, but Sandy had slept in when he was supposed to go to Ari, so he dodged a bullet, quite literally. Denise was never charged with any crime. The insurance company, they refused to pay out the policy as, well, Ari, self.
I think that's fine with us.
She still lives in that exact same house where she doesn't, wink wink, know her husband burned that young fella to death so he could take his place, and together they could start a brand new life. It's still weird that Denise was never charged with anything. Her claim the lie detector tests the police made her do showed she was never aware of her husband's plan to murder somebody and then switch identities. But I mean, that don't really, as we've seen before, that failing the lie detector test doesn't mean much. Her attorney said, quote, she knew nothing about the plan. She knew nothing about the design or the Newman man who is deceased. Her attorney refused, though, to answer any questions about the at least 4 emails Ari sent to Denise after his supposed death, where he asked, when will my ashes be returned? What are you going to do with my ashes? Denise responded, they're not releasing the body yet. She didn't say they're not releasing your body, as if she was emailing a ghost. Later, in a civil suit, a jury would decide that Denise should pay Justin's family $6 million. Who knows if they ever got a dime of that money, though. This truly is one of those tragic and stupid plots I've covered.
Yeah, didn't we just do one with Mr. Ballin? Same insurance shit? I ain't gonna count. But y'all gotta start doing that dumb shit, cause that shit don't work every time, bro. Not gonna lie to y'all. And with dude dodging the bullet, he really dodged the motherfucker. Hey, now I ain't gonna realize that with me, like I like to get a pin, so I probably ask my mom or my girlfriend or my homegirl or you feel me, homeboy. Somebody offer you a good ass job and you looking at the application and they got what's your eye color, your size, or your shoe size, yeah, all that. I mean, I'm definitely get some opinions in there. They say hell no. 9 times 10, I'm gonna say hell no too, cause that shit do sound weird. Not gonna lie to you, I wouldn't win either, brother. But that being said, that chapter did it again, man. Y'all make sure y'all give your thumbs up, man. Don't be tweaking, man, and comment. And if you dislike, suck a dick, nigga. Let's ride.